Good morning. Sergeant First Class Reginald Knight, retired, reporting. I went to the VA this morning and I got a couple of shots, so I'm a little woozy. But I do want to continue my series on the Constitution versus Donald Trump. I want to briefly talk about this tariff situation. The 16th Amendment, ratified in 1913, and Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution defines that Congress, and only Congress, is the legislative body that can levy taxes against citizens and businesses. However, it is within the president's authority during national emergency when he determines that there are unfair global trade practices and that he finds that there are certain industries inside the United States that are threatened by countries dumping cheap global products into the economy, that he can step in and levy tariffs. Now, what are tariffs? Tariffs are taxes. Tariffs are ad valorem excise taxes added to imported goods that the importer pays, and they pass that along to the consumer. For example, if you get a bunch of bananas from Vietnam that are $10 and he adds 30% tariffs to that, then you're going to be paying $13, not 10. It does not hurt the exporter. It directly affects you, the American consumer. Now, what the people find is that Donald Trump is guilty of executive overreach. He has created an international crisis when there was no reason to impose all of these taxes, these tariffs, on every single nation. Donald Trump, being the one-dimensional thinker that he is, did not account that every economy is not as big and robust as America, one. And two, there are certain things that we do not make and we have to import, so you would expect to be a global trade imbalance. For example, we buy a lot of bananas and rubber from Vietnam because we don't grow a lot of bananas and we don't have any rubber trees here in the United States. We sell them other things and we balance the trade in that manner. However, he has taken a heavy-handed approach to this, as he always does, and applied blanket tariffs to even the smallest country, even some, godforsaken Aleutian Island with only penguins on it. And this has had a chilling effect on the U.S. economy. It has dropped the stock market at some point almost to a third. It has caused businesses to shutter because they could not afford the additional tariff prices that they had to pay. The housing and car industry have really been negatively affected by it. And so his policies are doing the inverse of what they're intended to do. They are hurting the consumer instead of actually helping them. So in this case, we rule that the president is guilty of presidential overreach, and this is a misdemeanor. But as we continue, we will add that to our list of charges to ask for a removal of office under the 25th Amendment. Tomorrow, I will be doing a weekend recap. There's a lot of developments in the Middle East, more about this tariff business, and the tragedy in Gaza. And then we'll get back to this Constitution business on Monday. I hope you're having a great weekend, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Sergeant First Class Reginald Knight, retired, reporting. If you like my videos, please like, share, and follow me on Facebook. Have a good day.